show. It's your boo. Yeah, I got my t-shirt. Da-da-da-da. Think Octopus. Yo, Reg, thanks a lot. Red Code sent me a t-shirt. This is a custom t-shirt. It's copyrighted. The ideal is copywritten. It is Think Octopus. Think Octopus. That's cool, right? Hold on. Y'all know how I do, right? I gotta blaze it. Hold on. Oh, I love it. And this would be a good day to wear it. You know why? Because it just hailed. It was like, dang. You know, if you had to have a BB gun war against God, you would lose. You would lose. This is like rapid fire. You know, it was amazing. It was like hitting the house, ting, ting, ting. I'm like, what the heck is that? Think Octopus, y'all. What you know about it? You know, so this is a concept. It is copywritten, so don't snatch it. I know y'all love it. Everything that I put my hands on. So, but this belongs to Reg. So don't freaking touch it. Anyway, so let me tell you the concept and how it came about. Hold on, I gotta do a standing shot first. It's not. It's white. It's white. It was a white T-shirt. And this way I can wear it in the summertime. So, not today though. It's seriously hail. You can step out. I'll see if I can show it to you. Hold on. Can you see? Let me see. Can you see? You see them big balls down there? That's hail. No, that is not some kind of fertilizer or mothballs. That is hail. You know, who the hell you messing with? Who the hell do you think you are? You know? Bam! I thought a window was gonna break. Really. You know. So anyway. My pants. Isn't that cool? Think Octopus. Think Octopus. I'll explain the concept to you because I know y'all don't have it yet. And that's why it's cool, because it's, let me suck it up a little bit. Anyway, y'all know how he is. I wish I knew. At least earlier. Whew. Whew. Yeah. Let's pull something else out. You go to a party, right? Thanksgiving. Oh no, this is David Allen. David Allen also on my Facebook. Who is this? Oh, this is Maxine. Okay. All right. Hey, there's more in there. Okay. All right. So there you have it, y'all. I'll probably, hook it up like that, I don't want to have my... So, think Octopus. So this, let me tell you how this came about. Now, I said Reggie owes the artwork. I originally came up from something that came up when we were talking about. And what, so, long time ago, I was working on this octopus animation for David Wu, who is also on my Facebook. And so, so you know how they say, think, like get into the character and stuff like that. And so I was like, think octopus, because I had to do this octopus. So, and it was great. And I enjoyed it. So I did that for the Sendosa Museum. We won an International Design Award, me and David. We were part of the team, so the whole the agency in New York won the award, but we did the animation for probably the displays. It's in Sendosa, I think, Singapore. It's in Singapore. So yeah, from Buffalo, New York. Now I've never done that much work around the world, as I have from here in Buffalo. It's amazing. So anyway. So we got this. I was working on an octopus, and it's coming along good. I was happy about it, and so I would say like think. And then I had a bunch of other. So that's where I got into octopus. So I really like octopus, and so also because we have as an artist, and this is what really relates to Reg and how the ideal came up. Is like when you're doing graphic arts and you're a real graphic artist, when you actually have to do the production, the work. The shirt is big, but that's how I like it. I don't want a tight shirt. Anyway, so when you're doing a real production, you have to do a lot of. It's so complex. Your mind is so occupied, occupied. There's a pun in there, but there's so many things that you're so occupied with as you have to do. You have to design, so you have to do sketches and stuff like that. Then you have to model and create, and it's just like the stuff that I did on my wall. I don't use my wall as much anymore because I've just been so busy, but you have to, come up with story, scripting, storyboarding, concept, character design. Okay, so you got to come up with character design. And then you have to model the characters, and then you have to texture the characters. And so Reg is doing a lot of that work now. So he's really he always did storyboarding and script writing and stuff like that, which is a real beautiful thing because, that's something that I have not been I haven't been very, I can write and write stories and stuff like that, but I have never just wrote stories, dialogues, and stuff like that, which is very interesting. My younger brother, Edward, he used to be into that kind of story writing, and my nephew is actually into it now, Corey, Cleek, we call him. So he, but he's kind of dealing with some, you gotta free your mind. You can't let anybody or anything, it'll only just reach up and stifle you eventually. So I was, anyway. So the thing about it is, so I actually had to study story writing in order to get to that part. And I know I'm supposed to be saying this, but I got to story writing. And I'm sorry, my mind just floats all over the place. And I know I'm supposed to talk about this, but I want to explain this too. So I never really got into story writing. So he's a story writer. And so I had to study that. And there's a lot of information online for story writing and storyboarding. So one of the things that I have is I couldn't understand a 3-act play. What is it? Just what is it? Just tell me what it is. It's a beginning, it's a middle, and an end. That's all. And certain things happen in the beginning, certain things happen in the middle. You introduce your characters in the beginning, they have conflict, and then you have a result. It's that simple. So, but I studied a book called Story Writing, somewhat studied. Story writing for animators or script writing for animators. I forgot what it's called. But I studied that, and then when I got to storyboarding, I actually, and this is what Reg does, and this is why I'm talking about it, because there's a number of guys that are on my Facebook that actually do, like Henry Martinez. He actually worked for Marvel, and he's a script. He's a comic. He did comic work for Marvel, so he's also writes story and stuff like that. Now, I grew up in the comic age and stuff like that, but there's a lot of things like, I give out information because I'm so happy about it and I share it, but I give out a lot of information because nobody tells me anything. I never, I was planning on being an artist. It just seems like a lot of things gear. If it wasn't for God, I would be probably geared away from art a lot in my life. Like I said, I probably would have been a pimp or just killing here. But, I just, I would have been in a different vocation than I am now. There was nothing that really guided me into art. A lot of the things I picked up from my older brother. When I was very young, he was doing graphic communication, and I didn't even know what graphic communication was, and what it was a way to make money at art. And so I had a lot of antagonism about being an artist, and a lot of people just saying, no, artists, you're going to be broke, and I want to say this because I don't know how else to say it. My father has always been a blessing to me, and it's always a blessing to have a father. But I'll go back to what I was talking about with Cleet, and I had a little bit of a scrimmage on Facebook about this, talking to my nephew, and I want to just say, Jesus was the only man who could say that he didn't have a real father, didn't have a earthly biological father. So don't deny your fathers. And just because you have your father, you can, there's a lot of people that feel, a lot of negativity from not having their father around. Okay, that's maybe not something you can change. It's not the ideal situation, but there are other people in your life who can help you with that and compensate with that. And lots of times you can have better relationships with them than you would if you did have a father. And just because you have a father around don't mean it's such always the positive situation. There's, we're talking about people. People are infallible. And there's things that come up through generations that influence each family, into some of the negative stuff. So I hate to go off on that, but, and especially when I'm supposed to be just talking about this, but so I'll get to the point. So the thing is multitasking. This is what this means. Think multitasking. So you have a lot of different ideas, a lot of different thoughts and stuff like that, and so you have to multitask. And so that's, obviously I just kind of take I always have a lot of different thoughts all over. And so you just got to kind of string them all together. And that's how it relates to art, is that, and being an artist, especially a digital artist nowadays. There was a time when my job title for Philip Morris, a actual 3D company, actual cigarette company, where I did 3D illustration for them at one time, before they started getting heat for cigarettes. Cigarettes are bad. Job was good. I used to smoke. I quit. Okay, and so I live longer. Okay, hopefully, but that's one thing else I wanted to say. I hate to be so. Maybe I have to do this vlog again because it's probably just too spacey, too airy for everybody. But I want to say, pray for the people who had a mining problem, that explosion, that catastrophe in the mining, because these people were making a living off of actual manufacturing and production, in their own country, in our own country. And that's such a beautiful thing. I know it's dangerous, and there's things about it that are problematic, but they were doing a stupendous job. The company has had issues, and maybe we could work up for better considerations with that company that constantly have problems with their adhering to regulations for safety. But those miners and their families, they made a decent ducat. They made a decent dollar so they could live like decent Americans. They made good money at a very dangerous job. And actually, no amount of money can replace a life. But, for the work that they do, they were willing to take a risk in order to provide for their families. That was that important to them every day. So, and that's really true heart and American spirit. So, if we could just pray for them and just, that God bless them and their family and their laws, and maybe the government can do something to help them, especially when they're breadwinners, I'm all for equal pay for equal work, but some work is not suitable for certain people, and we've gotten so technological advanced that we can, a lot of the work is not based on physical, physical. But in the olden days when you had a farm, there were certain people, even if you were male, or even if you didn't have your full facilities, maybe been handicapped, you can't do those jobs. And if you didn't have the physical body strength, and that's why a lot of females couldn't do those jobs. That has changed, okay? But, for the men that are down there providing for the females, and giving them a living, I have to really applaud them, so I'm sorry I have to go off on that. So let me go back to my point. Is that this came up from a multitasking think octopus. So in this job, you have to do so many different things that it's very difficult, because as you get to, it not only, you got to learn all these things. So they used to call me a specialist at Philip Morris. Now they call this particular job a generalist. Because you have to do so many different things. You have to know so many different things. And it's hard to learn that. So this t-shirt came about when we were talking about this kind of thing, about how difficult it was, and how you have to be your mind has to be in so many different places and have to be good at them, but to a certain degree you have to cut corners. So after you learn how to storyboard, whether you have a propensity for it or not, you can learn some of the things. So that's a good thing. So a lot of our job is spent learning. Now a lot, and that's not to mention the creative. So a lot of artists who are making money, they're not making money from creativity. They're making money for performing. So somebody else creates for them, or they might take the idea, snatch and grab it. I just saw, and I wanted to look this up, this guy, he did a CD and it's called Thug Motivation or something like that. And he generally says the way to make it is to steal work. Steve Jobs actually even said that, quoted Picasso in saying that great artists steal. That Picasso, I don't consider Picasso a great artist. Dali is a great artist. But so the point is that one day I just said to Reg, I said, think octopus, man. This is how you deal with it, think octopus, and so therefore you have this shirt. So you have to, you have to be a story writer or a concept person and creative first, to use your own imagination. And I'm really kind of thankful that I'm kind of getting back into that mode. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be in Buffalo is because being in New York, learning all this computer technology, being a specialist, I've often said, and I forgot where I got the quote, specialization breeds in weakness, So when you only do one thing, that's the only thing you can do, So being into all of this computer graphics in New York, I've kind of got away from the creativity and the root of it, which was the drawing and art. So I wanted to come back to Buffalo just to study, to be in touch with a geography and an area where I was very creative. But there was also a lot of negativity that I kind of wasn't, and so I was just talking to Reg about some of the negativity is that I deal with. Nobody's special. The rain falls. The hail that came out today fell on everybody. Everybody caught hail, so that it doesn't matter if you're Christian or whatever. Heathen. The hail falls on the good, just like the sun. The heathen gets blessed just like the Christian gets blessed, And when I say heathen, I mean that, or let's say Gentile. Okay. All right. So, to be politically correct, So to finish up my thought, so I mentioned this I said this to him because like I was in an octopus thing of mine, and then I thought about how wonderfully octopus is made. That this darn thing has 8 tentacles, right? Octo 8, right? So it has 8 tentacles, ocho. It has 8 tentacles, and they're all fully functional. And so they all do the same thing. Maybe the ones that are in front may be better, but maybe some might be border for. But 8, that's amazing. And so it's amazing. I mean, that's what I call imagination. God to create something like that. It's amazing. So after you learn how to design something and put your original concept into a design and put it down on paper, then you have to, and that's what I have over here. I don't use this wall much, but let me see it. So as you can see on top, I did a video, Captain Laser or whatever. So yes, storytelling and stuff like that, and concepts, for your content and stuff. These are not these are mine. That sun and that moon, and then that's mine. That's not mine. That's a portrait I did a long time ago. These are not my original concept, but they're just modeled, and that was before I even did. These are not even, this is completely outdated. So that's another thing that you have to keep up with. So then you have to keep up with the software, because even learning this, then they come out with new versions, so you have to relearn a lot of stuff. So softwares that I don't even use in a capacity become outdated. So you have the character model, and so it's a lot of this down. We trying stuff, a lot of I took down, and so then once you model and you had some models that I was very happy. Then you have the texture mapping, and then you have ZBrush displacement. And so I got past all of this. I can also rig and do all that stuff. And so we have, yes, that's a tile. That's a cutoff tile though, designer. So then, over here I have kinematics, and so I haven't worked on this. Work on this more, and but I'm kind of in some of that. And then animation, I pretty much can animate. Then motion capture and effects. So actually, I'm over here, motion capture and effects. So So, and this is under performance. So this is my kind of octo stuff, and this is just some stuff that I had done. Some of just when I just at certain stuff, but I don't really use it anymore. So there you have it. So I want to thank you. It's very nice to get something. I've never met Reg. Did buy one of my DVDs, the tutorial DVDs, which I publish. A lot of people buy those. They sell all over the world, and so they're tutorials that you actually make money after you, they're for you to develop stuff, so they're $85. So, you can $85, but then you can get a $10,000 or whatever, $20,000 project possibly. I don't know. But that's the ideal of it, And so this is a pretty long video. I'll go 30 minutes. So think octopus, but it's really difficult because right now I have to do some research with a particular with a project, and it's hard to switch like that. Suck it up. So it's hard to switch. Ideal. I mean, one of the reasons why I wouldn't use ZBrush for a long time is because it would be so good. And one of the reasons why I don't animate is that it's so much fun, it's so good that I would neglect the other stuff. So there's a tendency to get involved and to stick with it. And so it's once you get that train rolling, it's hard to switch tracks, and so and especially once it gets speed up. So that's often difficult for me, and so that's how I sometimes get late on a project. It's like I'm excited about something, and it's this new burst of energy, and yet I got to go back and shift it back down into something else that is very might even be mundane, like paperwork or writing an estimate. It's always good to write an estimate because that means you're about to get some work and stuff, but it's very difficult. So this is the kind of stuff that I love talking about, and the kind of information that I don't think that there's a lot available. They teach you how to be an artist, but what they really should do is teach you business courses, teach you work ethic courses, teach you project management. I was very lucky because when I was working for Philip Morris, they sent me down to Capitol Hill, and I slept down there. I went to Washington and actually stayed down there for critical thinking and project management course. So, but I have a kind of like a sixth sense with that kind of thing. So I do a lot of stuff in my head, but it's good when you can lay it out in projects. And so I'm hoping that when I get that I find a nice iPad type of project manager, very simple to use, and the iPad has been very simple. So there's a classic case, like David, who was my partner. I was talking to him yesterday, and he bought an iPad, and I'll tell you this joke again. He bought this iPad, and I had talked to him on the phone because we were working out this project, and so I know David personally, very personally, and so or he knows me very personally, but he knows how I think too, and he asked me about the iPad the other day, and I said, "Oh, it's great." I did a real, the Apple guy came out of me, and Agent Alonso, right? And and I started really doing a sales job, and while talking to him, and so he's out of town right now, and he bought it the next day. He bought it, and then he writes online. He says, "I rarely get excited, but this is just." He wrote me back an email. He said, "This is so addictive. Get off of this darn thing and get those estimates done. Get it done. Because it's just so exciting. It's hard to do that, and nobody, even my client, is like, nobody wants to look at Excel sheets. You know, but it's a little bit more fun on the iPad now. I don't mind. I'll cuddle up with an Excel sheet now, you know. God bless you all. Reggie, thanks, partner. This is gonna be really fun. It's, you know, I'm gonna try to use it as a work shirt. So if you see it get real dirty one day, you know, that's because I'm putting it to good use. You know, really, I appreciate the design is great. The octopus that you did here is wonderful. I think it's just beautiful. It's really cool, and I really dig octopuses. I'm going to start working on my octopus again pretty soon, and so that's 30 minutes and well spent time. I hope you can decipher some value out of the many things I've said. God bless you all. I love you all.